A rivalry that dates all the way back to September 16th, 1960. It's the 119th all-time meeting between these two organizations, and in the honor of the great Chris Berman, it's time for Chiefs Raiders. Opening drive for the Raiders, 3rd and 1, and Carr play fakes, but Anthony Hitchens engulfs him for the sack, forcing a Raiders punt. Patrick Mahomes back from injury, and on 3rd and 4 connects with Travis Kelce for the 8-yard catch to move the chains. Next play, Mahomes gives to Kareem Hunt, who cuts back, finds a hole, and picks up 13 more to the Chiefs 41. 2 plays later, it's Damian Williams this time, taking it off the left side, breaking a tackle and picking up 14 more on the ground. Then 3 plays later, Mahomes looking to throw and fires a bullet downfield to Chris Conley for the 25-yard score, and the Chiefs offense, rolling early, jumps out to a 7-0 lead. Ensuing drive, Derek Carr with the play fake and gets great protection before finding Jordy Nelson deep down the middle for 36 yards into Kansas City territory. Then 5 plays later, 3rd and 8, Carr looking to throw again and finds Jared Cook on the crosser, who picks up 14 yards to the 14-yard line as he gets knocked out of bounds for the first down. And 2 plays later, Carr finds a wide open Lee Smith for the 7-yard score and his first touchdown of the year as the Raiders drive it right down the field to tie it at 7. However, the tie wouldn't last long, as on the ensuing kickoff, DeAnthony Thomas brings it out from a few yards deep and gets it all the way out to the 41 for the big return. Then on the first play of the drive, Kareem Hunt takes the carry off the left side, finds a huge hole, gets into the open field, makes a move on Reggie Nelson and picks up 32 yards down to the Raider 27-yard line. 3 plays later, faced with a 3rd and 9, and look at this dime by Patrick Mahomes, who puts it right on the money to Sammy Watkins, his 3rd touchdown catch of the season and Mahomes' 2nd touchdown pass of the game. And that's exactly what Kansas City has been missing. Take a look at it again as Watkins beats Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie for the 26-yard score as the Chiefs take an early 14-7 lead. Second quarter now, and it's Carr back to Jordy Nelson on the out route for 20 yards on 3rd and 12 to convert and put the Raiders at midfield. 3 plays later, after an offsides makes it 1st and 5, Carr play fakes and finds a wide open Jared Cook for 14 yards to the Chiefs 20. And then 5 plays later, Carr again with the play fake, but gets pushed back to his right and out of the pocket. Looks like he's got nowhere to go, but then runs through D Ford and right over Eric Berry into the end zone. Carr is fired up as he looks nothing like the player that was seen crying on the field, and much more like beast mode Marshawn Lynch on this insane 5-yard touchdown run that ties things up at 14. Chiefs back with the ball, and again wasting little time as Kareem Hunt takes the carry 10 yards up the middle near midfield. Then on the next play, another aspect the Chiefs have been missing without Mahomes, as he tucks it under and scrambles for another first down on the gain of 12. And 2 plays later, Mahomes with the play fake gets great protection, which allows him to take his time before finding Tyreek Hill for the 34-yard touchdown catch and a 21-14 Chiefs lead. Raiders turn to answer now as Carr play fakes, looks to throw, and threads the needle on a 17-yard pitch and catch to Amari Cooper. Then on 3rd and 9, it's Derek Carr making plays again, except instead of Refrigerator Perry, he's Barry Sanders this time as he jukes back and forth on his way to an 18-yard run. Then after a holding backs the Raiders up, Carr looks to throw and finds Jordy Nelson, who pushes his way forward towards the marker. Looks like he gets it, but is marked just shy. Chiefs use a timeout and the Raiders opt to kick the field goal, and Kai Forbath knocks it through to make it 21-17. So the Chiefs with 1:37 to work with, and on the second play the give goes to Kareem Hunt, who takes the Chiefs into Raiders territory for the 16-yard gain as he closes in on 100 yards with the first down carry. Then on the next play, Mahomes hits Tyreek Hill on the crosser, who spins his way forward for a pickup of 10 and another first down. But on 3rd and 3, Mahomes looking to throw flush to his right and tries to go short to Kareem Hunt, but it falls incomplete. Harrison Butker comes on for the 48-yard field goal, which is up and good, and the Chiefs head into half with a 7-point lead. Then to start the second half, the Chiefs offense continues to roll as Hunt goes over 100 yards with the 14-yard carry. 2 plays later, it's Mahomes again using his legs as he escapes the pocket to his right and picks up 15 yards before casually strolling out of bounds for the first down to the Raiders 38. Then on 2nd and 10, Mahomes with a clean pocket and fires a laser to Travis Kelce, who makes the catch and picks up 19 to move the chains. But scary moment here as Mahomes play fakes but doesn't feel the corner blitz and gets blasted by Gary and Conley. Mahomes stays down holding his hip but would only miss the remainder of the drive, so that brings in Chase Lynch Litton, and on 2nd and 20, he fires to Travis Kelce, who breaks a tackle and takes it down inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6 to set up 1st and goal. Then on 3rd and goal, Litton stands in and goes right back to Travis Kelce for the 4-yard score, and the Chiefs offense continues to look unstoppable as they go up 31-17. Raiders need an answer, and on their first play, Carr play fakes and fires down the seam to Andre Roberts, who holds on for the 24-yard catch. Then on the next play, the give goes to Marshawn Lynch, who breaks a tackle and takes the carry 17 yards up the middle as he surpasses 1,000 yards on the year. Raiders continue to move as on the next play, Carr play fakes and goes over the middle to a diving Jordy Nelson, who makes the 11-yard catch. And on 2nd and 2, it's 11 more as Lynch has a huge hole and could have easily scored, but cuts it back to the right and drags Kendall Fuller down to the 2 for 1st and goal, where the give goes to Jalen Richard, who picks up 1 but doesn't get in. Then on 2nd and goal, Lynch takes the carry and runs right into the arms of Justin Houston to bring up 3rd and goal, where the Raiders decide to throw this time. Carr fires and it's nearly picked off and then nearly caught, but falls incomplete, and the Raiders again opt to send in Forbath for the short field goal, and he knocks it home from 19 to cut the lead to 11. But after another good return, the Raiders have no answers as Kareem Hunt continues to find big holes in their defense, picking up 10 more. Then on the next play, he takes it off the right side, gets fantastic blocking and hits the open field, picking up 26 before being hit late out of bounds, so half the distance to the goal it goes. And on 3rd and 5, Mahomes looks to throw, steps up and moves around in the pocket before finding Sammy Watkins for the 7-yard score, giving Mahomes 4 touchdowns on the day, and the route is on in Oakland. Back to the Raiders, Carr gives to Lynch, who has a huge hole up the middle and picks up 15 yards and a 1st down. But then on 3rd and 1, it's Dorian O'Daniel in the Raiders backfield tackling Richard for the loss of 3, and a Raiders punt gives it right back to the Chiefs. First play of the 4th with the Chiefs pinned back but not deterred as Mahomes hits Chris Conley over the middle for the 18-yard catch. 2 minutes later, faced with 3rd and inches, and the give goes to Sausage Anthony Sherman, who picks up 3 on the 1st down. Then on 2nd and 12, the play fake to Hunt, and Mahomes comes back over the middle to a diving Tyreek Hill for 22 more. And 7 plays later, 7 minutes to go, 3rd and 9, and Mahomes goes to the end zone one more time to a wide open Chris Conley for his 5th touchdown pass of the game. And what appeared to be a shootout in the first half with the Raiders offense going tit for tat with the Chiefs ends up in a 45-20 blowout as Kansas City outscores Oakland 21-3 in the second half. Mahomes returns from injury and has another scare, but ends the day with 215 yards passing and 5 touchdowns, while Chase Litton also adds 1, giving them 6 in the game. And the performance by Kareem Hunt also can't be ignored as he carries the ball 22 times for 174 yards to help the Chiefs move to 6-6. Raiders fall to 4-8 and will stay home to face the Steelers next week, while Kansas City heads home to face another 4-8 team as they host the Ravens at Arrowhead. Alright guys, so that was a real fun game. Obviously, haven't had a game like that all season, and getting Mahomes back, it was really nice to see and really feel such a big difference between him and what I've been using for the last several games. Got a little bit of a scare there when he went down with the injury, and I would have been really frustrated had it been another serious injury. But defense wasn't good at all, but did enough in holding them to some field goals. But we get the win and move to 6-6 heading down the home stretch, so it'll be interesting to see if we can make that playoff push. But moving to the roster management and scouting, starting with negotiations, we had 2 this week, starting with right end Justin Hamilton, who we re-signed to a 1-year $850K deal with no guaranteed money, and that no guaranteed cash is really the reason why I signed him. There's really no reason not to sign him if it's like that, and I've already let both my left ends go, so signing him gives me a sure backup to Chris Jones on the right side, and if I find an upgrade for him, then I can just cut him anyway without any worry. And then we also had Terrence Smith, who is an inside linebacker, and we withdrew negotiations with him. He was asking for $2.3 million over 2 years with $640K bonus, but with signing Yukime Eligwe from the Browns practice squad and then having Anthony Hitchens, Reggie Ragland, and Dorian O'Daniel in front of him, I just don't really need him, so he'll be hitting free agency. Then moving to scouting, no draft stories this week, but we do have 4 new players being added to the draft board, starting with free safety Jatavis Spearman. I'm more so looking for a center field type safety, but this class isn't very strong for those, but he's a second round true talent and doesn't look too bad. Then moving down the list, we have Devontae Siegler, a zone corner out of Indiana State, who is a 3rd round projection and a 3rd round true talent as well. Then below him, we have another free safety in Thomas Canty, who is a 4th round projection but a 3rd round true talent, so he could be a nice sleeper pick there. And then lastly, we have a fullback who is the only one to not be an undrafted projection in the entire draft class in Penn State fullback Oral Trueluck. Chances of me taking him in the 4th round are highly unlikely, but if he falls, he might be worth a look. But with that, it's time to go around the league, where we had a full slate of games in week 13, kicking off with the Saints hammering the Cowboys 35-14. Moving to Sunday, the Falcons win the Battle of the Birds, taking down the Ravens 21-14. Panthers beat the Bucks 31-13. Chargers and Steelers play 4 2/3 quarters and can't find a winner and tie at 28 apiece. Bears win a shootout over the Giants 42-30. Bills edge the Dolphins. Bengals squeak by the Broncos. Rams beat the Lions 17-13 in Detroit. Cardinals win 17-10 in Green Bay. Browns over the Texans. Jaguars over the Colts. Jets fall to the Titans 24-8 in Tennessee. Vikings beat Brady and the Patriots in New England. 49ers take the Seahawks to overtime, but ultimately fall 30-24 on Sunday night. And then on Monday night, the fight for the NFC East lead goes to Philadelphia as they win a hard-fought battle with the Redskins 35-31. Taking a look at the AFC standings, the Patriots are already a win away from clinching the AFC East as they hold a 4-game lead with 4 to go. With the Steelers tie and the Browns win, Cleveland moves into first place, but only a game ahead of the surging Bengals, who have now won 6 in a row after starting 0-6. In the South, the Jaguars continue their strong season as they move to 10-2 and hold a 2-game lead over the Titans with 4 to go. And then out west, the Broncos lose and the Chargers tie, so we move into a tie for first place with the Broncos at 6-6, and with 4 to go, it's anybody's division to win except for the Raiders. As for the NFC, as you just saw, the Eagles beat the Redskins to take a game lead in the division, but they will play again in week 17, so a potential huge game there. Cowboys still with an outside shot at 6-6 as well. In the North, the Packers had a 3-game lead 3 weeks ago, but have watched that gap close to just 1 over the Vikings, who have now won 4 in a row. In the South, the Panthers are 9-3 and currently hold a first-round bye, while the 7-4-1 Falcons and 7-5 Saints are laying chase. Then out west, the Rams also hold a first-round bye and a 2-game lead over the Seahawks and Cardinals, who are both 7-5. The AFC Offensive Player of the Week is none other than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes was ridiculously efficient, completing 80% of his meager 19 attempts, but despite only having 15 completions, Mahomes made the most of them, throwing for 215 yards and 5 touchdowns, while also throwing in 42 yards on the ground as well. Mahomes' outstanding return catapulted the Chiefs to a dominating 45-20 win in Oakland. As for the NFC, the award goes to the all-time leader in pass yards, Drew Brees. Brees was electric on Thursday night, completing 27 of his 35 attempts for 316 yards and 5 touchdowns to help his Saints dismantle the Cowboys and move to 7-5 on the year. Brees currently sits 3rd on the all-time passing touchdown list, just 3 behind Tom Brady and 26 behind the all-time leader, Peyton Manning. On the defensive side, Browns safety Derek Kindred takes home the award for the AFC. Kindred, who you might remember a couple videos back, had 2 interceptions against us and picked off 2 more passes against the Texans while also adding 6 tackles. Kindred's first Career Player of the Week award helped the Browns get a big 27-20 win in Houston. His jersey reads short, but him and the Carolina Panthers defense stood tall on a rainy day in Tampa as Kawan Short takes home the NFC award for Defensive Player of the Week. Short registered 5 tackles, all solo, and was a problem all day for the Bucs as he dropped quarterback Jameis Winston 3 times on the way to an easy 31-13 division victory. Moving on to the league leaders, Tom Brady continues to lead the way in passing yards and holds the top spot with 3,695 yards, but is only 55 yards ahead of Redskins quarterback Alex Smith. Matt Ryan is in third with 3,465 yards, while Carson Wentz is fourth with 3,377, and the Titans' Marcus Mariota rounds out the group with 3,240 yards on the season. Carson Wentz leads the way in passing touchdowns with 31 on the year and looks poised to set a new career high with 4 games to go. Meanwhile, Alex Smith has already set a career high, reaching 30 touchdown passes for the first time in his career. Behind him is a 3-way tie for third between Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Russell Wilson, who all have 28 touchdown passes. Ezekiel Elliott only had 65 yards on the ground this week against the Saints, but still holds a 169-yard lead over second-place running back David Johnson. Third on the list is the Rams' Todd Gurley, while fourth is Le'Veon Bell with 1,101 yards rushing. And then fifth on the list is Raiders running back Marshawn Lynch with 1,068 yards rushing on the year. Ezekiel Elliott and Todd Gurley are tied at the top of the rushing touchdown leaderboard, each accounting for 12 scores on the ground this year. Behind them is also a 2-way tie between a pair of NFC South running backs with Alvin Kamara and Devontae Freeman, both with 10. And then finishing off the list is Broncos rookie running back Royce Freeman with 9. Moving to the pass catchers, Marquez Valdez-Scantling continues to lead the way with 79 catches on the year, which puts him 8 ahead of the 2-way tie for second between the Redskins' Jamison Crowder and Patriots' Julian Edelman. Behind them in fourth is the Falcons' Julio Jones with 69 and the Titans' Rashard Matthews with 68. As for receiving yards, it's Jamison Crowder and everyone else as he leads the way with 1,139 yards on the year. Jarvis Landry is second behind him and only 12 yards away from his third career 1,000-yard season. Our own Sammy Watkins sits 30 yards away from the 1,000-yard mark and sits in third, while Julian Edelman is fourth, 14 yards behind him. And then rounding out the top 5 is the Cheetah Tyreek Hill with 916 yards receiving. The receiving touchdown leaderboard is the same story at the top as it's Jamison Crowder and everyone else. The Redskins receiver has 13 touchdown catches, which is 4 more than the next closest player in the Jets' Quincy Enunwa, who has 9. Behind him is a tie for third between 6 players with 8 touchdowns, but the 3 to make the list this week are the Seahawks' Doug Baldwin, the Texans' Bruce Ellington, and the Chiefs' Tyreek Hill. Shifting to the defensive side of the ball, Sean Lee has somehow managed to stay on the field long enough to make 89 solo tackles on the year, putting him in the top spot. Bobby Wagner of the Seahawks sits in second with 82, while the Redskins' Zach Brown is third with 81. Then rounding out the group is a tie for fourth between the Giants' Alec Ogletree and Texans' Zach Cunningham, who have both been responsible for 80 solo tackles this season. Khalil Mack of the Bears currently leads the way for the sack title with 13 sacks through 13 weeks. Von Miller of the Broncos sits a half sack behind him with 12.5. Our own Justin Houston has 11 on the year and sits in third, a half sack ahead of the Cardinals' Chandler Jones. And then fifth on the list is also an Arizona Cardinal in Robert Kimdiche, who has 10 sacks on the year. And then lastly, for the leaders, we have interceptions, where we see 5 different players tied for the league lead with 5 on the year, starting at the top with Patrick Peterson, the Rams' John Johnson, Panthers' James Bradbury, Dolphins' Bobby McCain, and AFC Defensive Player of the Week Derek Kindred have also all been responsible for 5 takeaways through the air. Looking forward to Week 14 schedule, things kick off with a huge AFC South matchup as the Jaguars look to clinch the division with a win over the Titans. Moving to Sunday, the Jets travel to Buffalo, Giants head to Washington, Saints at Bucks, Patriots also with an opportunity to clinch their division in Miami. We host the Ravens, who are 4-8, as we look to keep pace with the Broncos or potentially take over first place all by ourselves. Colts at Texans in a dud, Rams travel to Chicago, Panthers at Browns, Falcons at Packers, Broncos head to San Francisco, Bengals at Chargers in a game with potential wildcard implications, Eagles look to end the Cowboys' playoff hopes, Lions at Cardinals, then on Sunday night an old 70s rivalry as Pittsburgh heads to Oakland, and then on Monday night another matchup with potentially huge wildcard implications as the 7-5 Vikings travel to Seattle to take on the 7-5 Seahawks. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up week 13 of season 1 of the Chiefs franchise. Big win all around against the Raiders, and every game the rest of the way is going to be huge for the division and maybe even the wild card. Next week, we take on Joe Flacco and the 4-8 Ravens at Arrowhead. So tune in for that to hopefully see the momentum built in this week carry over into that game. I appreciate you guys tuning in and hope you enjoyed the highlights, commentary, and league news. Hope to see you guys next video, but until then, thanks for watching.